What's up, y'all? I'm on my way to my brother's studio right now. He owns like a home media company in Cleveland, Ohio. And it is officially March 9th. We are 7 days from the debate. And I know you guys are probably like, well, why are we starting 7 days after the debate? Well, because today I'm gonna give my final thoughts on things, and we're just gonna go over the whole process step by step from beginning to now. So let's get into it. So I bet you're wondering how all this began, right? Let's take a seat and talk about it. So this is what happened, all right? Kyle was in one of my video premieres and he was like, hey, there's this debate going on in Steubenville. Do you want to go? And I was like, yeah, why not? Sounds fun. I live in Ohio. I'm down for a debate. Never been to one before, but why not go to one? Immediately afterwards, he emails me all the details. He's like, it's going to be March 2nd. It's going to be here. Here's the link to get tickets. Hop on it real quick before they sell out. And I was like, well, you know, it'd be cool if my brother could come with me. So let me run this by him first. He's a busy guy. I'm probably not going to hear from him for a couple of days. So I'll let you know, in a week or so. Yeah, tickets sold. Like, they sold out so fast. And that's my fault. I should have just bought 2 tickets and figured out what to do if he couldn't come regardless. But what ended up happening, Kyle was like, bet, don't even worry, I got you, right? Kyle hits me up like maybe a week or so later, and he was like, yo, my wife's not gonna be able to make it. Boom, here's 1 ticket. So I'm like, all right, cool. I could pay you back for the 1 ticket, but we still had to think about my brother. Somebody reached out to Kyle. I don't know how it happened, but somebody was like, I got extra tickets. Boom, now I got a ticket for my brother. Awesome. We are on our way to Steubenville now, which is great. Originally, this was supposed to happen in like a coffee shop or above a coffee shop, but it was just so much demand that they ended up moving it to the college. And once that happened, I could have just bought tickets. I didn't know that was gonna happen. I didn't know they were gonna move it, but either way, we had tickets. We were able to go. Cool. Me and my brother planned it out. Very busy guy, but as the week came, I was just like, hey, you remember we were supposed to go there, right? And he was like, bet, I got you. And I was like, all right, so I could drive us. And he was like, no. He was like, your little Matchbox car ain't gonna hold all the equipment. What are you driving for? What are we doing? We gonna take my truck. I'm gonna get you at 8 in the morning, and then we go head down there and see what's up, scope out the area. Cause my plan was to only interview Kyle. And we got lucky when we got down there, as you'll see in a bit. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Sang. I got my bro with me, as y'all can see. We are here at in Steubenville at Franciscan University. I probably butchered that whole name, but we are here for the debate tonight, where Trent Horn is going to be going against Gavin Ortlund, talking about sola scriptura. I probably butchered that too. All the Latin terms and everything. But y'all know me. I don't know nothing. But anyways, we're here at the campus. It's early in the morning. This is a big campus, by the way, but we're just walking around getting a lay of the land, seeing where we're supposed to even be later on tonight. But it's about to be 11 in the morning. The debate starts at 7. We're gonna be filming a bunch of crap from now until then, hopefully. And then I'm just waiting for other people to get here so I can meet them for the first time and interview them, and we all just get to know each other. Oh, y'all, look at this. Look at the stuff on the window. They got Jesus on the cross, him crying in the garden.
So this is where it's gonna be?
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, it says Gentile gathering.
Okay, so yeah.
Okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, this is where the debate about to be. Oh, this about to be fire. All right, we about to get cameras and stuff, and then we're gonna be back. What's up, y'all? We went to go get lunch. We are back at the college. You could probably hear the music down below us, but we're in the room that they're actually going to be doing the debate at. So this is what it looks like. We have a top floor view, right? I don't know how well you guys can see it on the GoPro, but over there's a camera setup. There's a camera setup, and there's going to be one in the back. And this is like the production setup of everything that's going to be happening. And my brother already talked to the people about us allowed like up here, so I have the option. I can either sit down there or I could be up here with my brother. I'm probably about to just chill up here with my brother because look at this view. Look at this view. This is dope. The view's amazing. And then like you have this whole setup right here. This is like the whole production setup. Yo, this is like low-key lit, boy. Ooh. Yeah, I'm about to be up here. And then they got, this has nothing to do with the setup, but like you got like random stuff up here. What up, bro?
Yo.
Yo. Look at the light setups they have. Oh, everything looks so good. This is fire.
So what if you do the interview here?
If we're allowed to, yeah, that'd actually be kind of dope. Okay, so at this point, I hit Kyle up and I was like, we're ready for you. This is where we out on the campus. And he was like, bet, I'll meet you in a little bit, which is awesome. Kyle first interviewed me, like I first met this guy back in like the end of October and then early November. He interviewed me for his channel and he was like, hey, you know, if you ever want to interview me, that'd be cool, just let me know. And I was like, bet, I would love to. And I kept putting it off because I wanted to learn as much as possible that I could about Catholicism. The more I learned, the more nervous I got because I just realized there was so much I didn't know. But I'm glad we were able to link up for the first time in person. I feel like that made the interview that much better. And you guys are gonna get to see that in a second. And here it is. Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Meeting for the first time.
Huh?
So meeting for the first time.
Oh, nice.
What's going on,
Good
man?
to see you.
Yeah, it's good to
Nice
see
to meet you in
too.
person.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
So this is
Howdy.
my brother.
What's your name?
Odin.
Odin?
Odin, yeah.
Odin, okay.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Yeah, you too.
Yeah. Oh, and then I got this for you because
Oh, my
you said you guys were having a baby.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Let me check your belt.
Do you want me to open this up on camera or?
That's up to you.
Okay.
That's up to you. You don't have to. Let me tell you, what happened next literally had to be an act from God. I swear on everything. All I was trying to do was film a funny skit with Kyle before we got into the actual interview, right? The skit, because I'm Protestant and he's Catholic, was gonna be a Protestant asking Catholic questions. Ha ha ha. Yeah, God didn't like that too much, and you're about to see why. You're gonna just see. You're gonna see what happens, and I swear it was an act from God. So, Catholic, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Out of all the things you could have been, that's crazy. So, if you mind answering some questions,
Sure.
since you know you guys think you're better than us.
Naturally.
So, why you guys pray to Mary?
Pray to Mary. Well, it's like we see from scripture that her intercession is powerful. The wedding feast of Cana, Jesus received Mary's intercession to do something about the situation with the wine, and he did. So it goes a little bit deeper in that. But yeah, that's why we pray to Mary.
And you also put her on the same level as God.
You know, I think you got me. No, of course not.
And then why do you guys pray to saints? You're supposed to be praising God. You're not supposed to.
Sure.
Look at my face right now. Does it look like I was playing anymore? No, I was scared. Because that is a warning shot from God right there. Mind you, he gave me two. Because I was too stupid to understand the first one. And you're going to see that in a second. But just, even though I told him I was playing, just look at this face. I'm so stupid. God, I told you, we talked about this. like stop messing with me.
So,
We're good? Okay.
all right. Go ahead. We'll run that back.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl saying I am here with Kyle Whittington. He runs a Catholic YouTube channel. If you guys remember, if you were on my subs, you remember he interviewed me like October.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, he's the first guy to ever interview me, and I was like, I'm gonna interview you on my channel. And I think this is like the best way to.
I honestly thought you were gonna hit me up like a few weeks later, and then like we just do a live stream. Like I never imagined it would be this.
I didn't either. But
Here we are. Yeah.
So like do it and right here in person. Out here at I'm about to butcher the name. Franciscan. Okay, Franciscan University. So we're at the Catholic University, both here for the debate. It's going to be Trent Horn versus Gavin Ortlund. So let's just hop into it. You said you used to go here.
Yes. Yeah. I went here for a year, basically for the calendar year of 2011. I took a semester off, which basically means after high school I took a semester off because I was lazy and didn't get an application in, and I missed the deadline. So it started in the spring as opposed to the fall. But it was a good time. Met my wife here. Fun fact about the room that we're in right now. I don't know if y'all can hear the piano in the background, but whenever we were in this room for my orientation, I had the thought, because it was a smaller incoming class. Orientation wasn't it wasn't the big one where you out in the field house, just a smaller group. And I remember sitting in here thinking to myself, right now, I don't know who she is, but I'm probably sitting in the same room as my future wife right now. And later on, I thought, that was a stupid thought. There's tons of girls here. Like, if I do meet my wife here, probably wasn't in that room. And then I did meet my wife later, and she started the same time I did. So whenever I had that thought, I was actually right. She was in this room at that time. So that's like, there's a lot of really good memories in this room.
That was God. He was just.
Yeah, she's here. Don't you worry about it. Yeah.
We were actually talking about that earlier when we walk around the campus. He said, he was like, when I think about how do Christians meet people, he was like, I never thought like a Christian college, or in this term, a Catholic college.
Right.
Same thing. Well,
yeah.
Same thing. But he was just like, I never, like, it never hit the brain where it's like, that's where people start off in life if you were raised that way. Which honestly is a good way to meet your future spouse, because you guys obviously have the same values, you have the same religion,
right?
So it works out for.
Yeah, no, actually, you kind of mentioned on this before the interview of how the culture here is so different than what you're seeing. Like, people are walking away, leaving their laptops around. You know, I left my car unlocked here, and it's just because of the culture here at Franciscan. The peer pressure leads you to virtue. And that's why it's a really unique university. So if anybody, like any Catholic people out there, like considering like, hey, where should I send my kids? Please consider Franciscan, because the culture here is just so good. You're going to have friends that like, you know, while other friends will be like, hey, you know, other universities will be like, hey, we're going to this party. There's going to be tons of girls, tons of booze there. Like, it's like, all right, yeah, let's go. Here, there is still that here. Don't get me wrong, but you got to kind of go out looking for it. Here, it'll be more like, hey, mass is starting in 15 minutes. Let's go.
Yeah, we went to the chapel.
Yeah.
I saw how that worked, and I did the holy water for the first time, because I was just like, I don't know how to do this, and I watched somebody else come in, and I just mimicked. I was like, okay, I saw her do all this.
Yep.
All right.
It's the same as the Konami code. It's, you know, up, down, left, right. So.
Yeah.
So.
It worked out, man. It is wonderful, because the culture. I also noticed the difference where like when people greet each other, even men. I noticed everything we saw here. Guys were just like, hey man, what's going on? They were hugging each other. Everybody was like so kind. Like when you talk to somebody and walk away, be like, okay, thank you. And they'd be like, yes, have a blessed day. And it's like, oh, I don't hear that. Like
never.
Everywhere else. Yeah. Everyone here is so kind.
Yeah, no,
I love
it's a wonderful place.
Yeah. So, after you left here, what was your journey from aftertown?
Yeah, so I started here in 2011 with like a half-cocked plan. Like I had no plan except for like I literally came up here like on a wing and a prayer. Midway through my second semester, I knew that like the money was gone. I wasn't going to be able to come back. I couldn't afford it. So I actually went down to Fort Steuben Mall over there, went to the Armed Services office, and enlisted in the Air Force. So I went to MEPS, for those of you who are familiar with the military. Went to MEPS in Pittsburgh, and then actually finally shipped out of Oklahoma City. But so I joined the Air Force. I was 6 years active duty, and in that time, I did a whole bunch of different things. I deployed to Afghanistan. I married my wife, had 2 children while we were active duty, and then after that, I, after active duty, got out, joined the Air National Guard, moved to St. Louis, and then that's where we are located here to this day. And yeah, so that's kind of the 100,000 foot overview of what my story after Franciscan looks like.
What made you decide, like, hey, I'm going to start a YouTube channel?
Oh, goodness. So it was kind of an accident because I had no intention of, like, doing this. I guess I had kind of, like, kicked around the idea. But then on Matt Frad's Locals, he, like, suggested, like, hey, I want to hear y'all's stories. So if you want to record, like, a little video telling how you came to Catholicism, I want to hear it. So I was like, you know what? Okay, fine. I had no idea what I was doing. It was literally, like, my MacBook, its built-in camera, and my AirPods, which, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't even think the microphone was even working because it sounds awful. The video's up on my YouTube channel if you want to go check it out. And I was thinking, I thought, max 12 people are going to watch this, and they're all going to come from people that, like, I'm going to send it to like 30 people, and 12 of them are actually going to watch it, and that'll be it. That's kind of what I thought. But, like, I uploaded it and didn't really think anything of it. And then, like, a couple months later, I noticed, I was like, this has like 1,500 views. What's going on here? And I noticed how things kept picking up steam. And I think, like, as of this recording, there's like 6,000 views on it or something like that, which, you know, for a little nobody channel, I mean, that's huge. So I was just like, that's okay. And at the time, there was a Catholic YouTuber who lived like 20 minutes south of me named David L. Gray. And he's a great guy. Like, he was very gracious. He gave me a lot of tips and tricks and stuff like that. And he gave me some tips, like, he's like, hey, your camera may suck, but that's fine. Get a really good microphone because nobody's going to watch your stuff. They're just going to be listening. So I did that, and I just started cranking out videos just one at a time. And I'd like to think that they've progressively gotten better, but it's fun. It's a fun hobby that I can do in the house, and I can, you know, if I need to step away to help out with the kids, it's super easy. And yeah, so I guess that's how I got into YouTube. It's kind of an accident. Which
then led to, I guess before Discord, it was Telegram.
Yeah, I was on Telegram. I'm like one of like 3 people who've been banned from Telegram. Yeah, so I got connected with some pretty cool people on there. But I looked it up on Reddit later. Apparently, like, Telegram just randomly bans people, and I think that's what happened to me. Because I was like, I couldn't get their customer service to help me out at all. So I was like, whatever, okay. But yeah, so now I've got a Discord. So if y'all want to, like, head over to my channel, check out the Discord. Would love to have you on. So Protestant, Catholic, doesn't matter. As long as you keep your questions respectful, it's all good.
Yeah, so I'm gonna link all that in the description box below if you guys want to check any of that out. And also the Discord, everybody in there is so nice compared to like some other Christian Discords that I. But everybody in there is nice. And I was telling him earlier, you guys, every time you guys tell me to do something, I literally have went and done it.
Oh, wow.
So when you were just like, oh, you should go to this debate.
Boom, here you are.
This debate. Haley was like, you should go to that church.
I went to the church. And have we led you wrong yet? I mean, we'll find out maybe at the end of the day, but...
Well, for this, yeah.
Yeah.
So far, no. And then even when talking to Roxy and I asked about the Easter Vigil stuff, and she's like, you should just go do it. And she's like, okay.
Yeah.
So, like, that's my Easter now. I'm going to go.
Praise be to God. That's amazing.
I have to, like, figure out where to go in my city for that. But, like,
honestly,
I'm going to figure it out.
Honestly, like, find a church that you think has pretty pictures. If it looks pretty, go to that one.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, I mean,
we find good churches.
Okay, so that may sound like a really superficial reason to do that, but whenever, especially like guys, like, why did you go talk to that girl? Eventually, because she was pretty, and so it's there's nothing wrong with like that initial attraction being because of beauty, and like obviously it can't stay there forever. It's got to deepen, but yeah, so that's why I say it's like find a pretty church, go to that one.
Sounds like some good advice.
Yeah.
Your experience. So I remember your testimony. You started out Baptist or
Baptist, Methodist, Pentecostal. I was kind of all over the place, honestly.
Okay. What was your viewpoint on Catholics prior to that? And then when did that start warping and changing for you to be like, okay, let me really
oh boy,
get into
Yeah, so my view of Catholics or Catholicism in general before all of this was nothing specific, but generally negative. And again, and if you would ask me, it's like, why did you like Catholics? I said, well, because they call priest father. Anything else? No, like that's literally it. I don't know anything else. So like I would say that like it was, if any of my dislike, it was based out of ignorance. So I thought that was cool. So if you've heard my story, it was literally an invite from a cute girl with the promise of free pizza that first got me to going. But ultimately, what I think, if I'm being honest, what really got me to soften up on Catholicism, it was going to be the friendship and the relationships of the people at St. Patrick's in Denison, Texas. They cared about me. They were extremely nice. And I started going back, and the priest was just so amazing. He was so respectful. And I just softened up over time. And then obviously it helped that like whenever I had questions, there were answers. And these guys were just on it. They could tell me exactly where I needed to go to find the answer that I was trying to get. So, but yeah, that's does that answer the question? Okay.
That answers the question. So the pretty girl, like you said, prettiness gets you there.
Yep.
But it didn't like ultimately keep you there.
Yeah. Yeah. And for the record, like y'all notice, like I said you, I met my wife here, not at that church. Like I did not get married to that pretty girl. Like
it was funny when I was watching that video and you were just like, oh yeah, the pretty girl got me there. I'm like, oh, that probably ended up being the wife. And then you were just like, side note, I didn't marry her or date her or anything. I was like, oh.
It's so awkward telling that story in front of my wife because people are like, oh yeah, is this her? And you're just like, what? Oh no, not her.
No, that's not her. That's not her at all.
Yeah, she's great, but no.
It's funny. So my brother's wife made a great distinction where she said, when you get into religion, I guess you were already kind of religious, but what got you into this? She said it's usually somebody that's like maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead of you. Mm-hmm. Now, that's not necessarily going to keep you there, but you kind of need somebody to like, it's easier to be led in by somebody not that far ahead versus somebody that's like weeks ahead of you. Because when I was listening to your testimony, it was kind of the same for me. Not a hot guy or anything, but it's just the fact that somebody close enough to me in age and like how far out they were starting, were just like, okay.
Yeah.
If you could do this, I could do this. But that person didn't keep me here.
Right.
Because I'm actually don't follow that person anymore. But like,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
It's interesting. I'd love to hear more about that later, but it sounds like a story for another time. But
I would say, if somebody came to you with questions on like, what would bring me over into religion, period, it's if they came like, Kyle, I see how your life is, and I'm nowhere near there. I don't believe in anything, but like, I like what you got going on,
right?
And you're like, how would you respond to that person if they were like, how do I get here, and how would I even begin with religion in any aspect?
I suppose the first thing that I would do is to just like grab them by the collar and just go, how dare you talk to me? No. Well, obviously, okay, so as cliche as it is, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So you need to befriend them first before you start trying to educate them, come in yelling at them, you're going to hell, stuff like that. Somebody does that, they should be like, okay, cool, middle finger and walk away. And so, if somebody says like, I want what you have, it'll be like, okay, when was the last time you prayed? Like, and just go from there. And, there's different aspects too, because, so a lot of times people come to me for career advice and stuff like that too. So I was like, now career advice I think is a little bit more difficult, maybe easier in some aspects, but I have had people come up to me and say like, wow, Kyle, I want what you have. It's like, how'd you get here? It's like, well, I joined the Air Force. I did this, and this, and this. And they're like, I don't want to do any of that. And it's just like, okay, cool, bye. But like joining the church isn't quite as drastic, and in some ways more drastic than that. Because, it's just like, what do you want to do? It's like, well, the first thing you do is, study. If you live in the U.S., you've got objections to Catholicism if you're not already Catholic. Or if you are Catholic, you may have some like unresolved, like, I don't know why we do this. But I don't really have a good answer to that. Work through those objections. find out that it's reasonable, because I don't want anybody to go in to a mass just because, like earlier example with a threat of violence. I was like, no, that shouldn't be, that nobody should be threatening you for that. But like, but once you know a few of the answers, know what's going on a little bit, when you see the mass, you experience it, that's going to be far more efficacious. And then, study that kind of a little bit like what you've done already too. Like, you've been reading, you've been talking with us, we've become your friends. And, and it's just like, and if you never become Catholic, like we don't have a timer going and be like, listen, you got till September. And then after that, like, we're done. No, it's just like, we will be your friends as long as like you'll tolerate us. And, so it's just focusing on that relationship, building that, and then finding commonalities. He's like, even the most vicious anti-Catholics to be like, okay, but we both agree that Jesus Christ died for our sins and rose from the dead. We can both say Christ is king. And so from there, we can build out and see where the actual differences are. So I suppose, like, if somebody said, like, hey, I want to do this, what should I do? It's just like, just get to know them a little better, because everybody's different.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I think when I first started, I watched a lot of, like, the street preacher videos. And while some are, like, okay,
yeah,
others, it is, like, a lot of yelling.
Yep.
And then people come yelling back, and you're just arguing, and you're being assaulted, and it's like, I don't think that's a good way to evangelize, get the point across, because when I didn't believe, I would see stuff like that, and I would just be like,
yeah,
I don't like.
We're out to win hearts and minds and ultimately souls, not arguments. Because winning an argument is, easy. You just study and you get the right answers, and then boom, you just dunk on somebody with the right answers. Cool. You may have won the argument. That person's walking away dejected. So yeah, it's just, I maybe that's worked on some people, and if it has, praise be to God. If God can use cute girl and free pizza on an idiot like me, he can absolutely use a street preacher or someone too.
Yeah, he can, because there's been people that have said, but they've had better interactions with the street preacher, where they've been like, yeah, I was saved by a street preacher. He came and talked to me and stuff. Yeah. Because I've seen videos like that before too, and I'm like, those are wonderful.
Absolutely.
I just don't like the super crazy one.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna name drop anybody, but there's like one street guy who like come up and just like ask them like really awkward questions, and they're just this girl's just trying to like eat her lunch on a park bench, and he's just like, yeah, hi, I'm not sure how to answer that. Could you go away? And you could tell that she's uncomfortable by it, and she's just answering the questions to get this guy to go away. And so yeah, it's just like some of those are kind of cringy.
I know you have like a series on your channel called Low Hanging Fruit.
Oh yeah, that one's a fun one.
How did that start? Because it's not like you weren't doing that
Right. So it kind of all started with the announcement of Cameron Bertuzzi becoming Catholic. And you can look it up, and like, it's this, I'll be honest, I hate thumbnails in general. I hate making them. I hate doing them, but like, I understand this is just what you got to do to get people to click, and it's awful. But anyway, so you see me like making this face at this guy, like reacting to Cameron Bertuzzi's conversion. And I just kind of like hit the record button, on OBS, had my little thing in there. And I just did like a live reaction to this guy's stuff. And he had like some of the dumbest arguments that I've ever heard in my life. And it's just like, bro, especially whenever it comes to a religion like Catholicism, where like all of our rules are written down. It's not like you have to like speculate on this. Some of these things are extremely clear. And he's getting like the basics wrong. And it's just like, okay, yep. And so I just kind of went through there and just go through and just kind of reacted to it, responding to what this guy was saying. And, a little bit, I kind of like really got into it because I like paused the guy and then just instinctively, sorry for cutting you off. And then somebody was just like, did you just apologize to a paused video? And I was just like, yeah, I did, sorry. But yeah, so it started with that. And then I realized like, whenever it comes to anti-Catholicism, like this is what most of these arguments are. Like whenever people hit me with anti-Catholic arguments, it's not the big brain guys like Dr. Ortlund who are going on like really deep dives that like, it's just like, Dr. Ortlund said this, what do you say about that? I was like, I'll be honest, like I have a high school diploma. Like he's got a PhD. I'm not on his level. But it's really the low hanging fruit. And that way I thought like, well, I could do this stuff, find these really dumb videos that an idiot like me can respond to and, you know, and try to do it in an entertaining way, something that'll make people laugh. So that way, whenever, you know, if a Catholic sees this, you know, they don't get their faith shaken by these low-hanging fruit things. But like, you know, all these things like, oh, well, you know, you're not going to reach the people that you're responding to. Like, you know, you're probably right. And maybe I'm wrong to do it. But it's kind of like, I kind of don't expect them to listen, even if I was being nice. And if I'm being, you know, nice, I try to keep the snark focused on the arguments, not the person. Because I have no doubt that every person that I've responded to is an intelligent person. But they are, and, you know, if I'm going to insult someone's person, I'm only ever calling myself stupid. And so, yeah, so I try to do that just to keep things interesting and whatnot. So, yeah, that's kind of how that got started.
Cool, because I like.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
I like a lot. So, in parting, because guys, we're going to get out of here. We're about to go eat and get ready for everything that's about to happen in this space. What do you see for your future? Whether here, VTuring, does not matter.
Okay, so if I won the lottery today, I'm quitting my full-time job. We're moving to the Bahamas. No, so I don't know. The only thing that I'm pretty much certain on is that we're not done having kids. We got number 5 on the way. So that's kind of in the background. It's like, okay, so I have to count for more kids coming along. I'd love to move here to Steubenville. And, you know, I'd love to see the channel keep growing. We'll see there. I do work a full-time job. Like, YouTube only costs me money. It doesn't make me money. But I enjoy it. I enjoy what I'm doing. Like, I feel like I'm making at least the slightest bit of difference. It's just like, you know, you show up to the pearly gates and I'm right behind somebody like Mother Teresa. She's already canonized, but if I show up and, you know, I see she's got this giant treasure chest of everything that she's committed, like, I might have a little thimble, but it's just like, it's almost like a child, like, presenting their macaroni art to their parent. It's like, is the macaroni art, like, worth something? No, it's worth nothing. It's trash. But, you know, at the same time, it's still pleasing to the parents. It's just like, you know, if I hand my little thimble of difference to God, which doesn't add anything to, like, his saving work for us, but it's like, here's my little thimble, you know, look at it, it's like, oh, that's so cute, well done, you know. It's like, okay, get in here, you know. That's I guess that's kind of what I'm hoping to do. So sorry it's not as specific, because it's just like, hey, honestly, it's like, I have no idea. Like, I figure, what does the future hold? Like, tomorrow I might get breakfast.
That's okay. Like,
Yeah.
you're the type of person to be like, oh no, tomorrow I'll do this though.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
All right. Did you want to plug anything? Get out of here outside of your YouTube.
Crossthetibor.org. For those of you who are investigating Catholicism, if you are, you know, if you're hearing some of these things, like, I don't, you know, some of this stuff sounds legit, but I still have concerns. We've got a Discord server that you can go to crossthetibor.org. Go in there, and we are there to basically create, you know, I know it's kind of a trigger word, but like a safe space. Is like, you can ask the hard-hitting questions. You can say, like, hey, I think that, you know, it's like, oh, I have a problem with the fact that Catholics worship Mary. And I was like, okay, so we will gently, like, okay, we don't worship Mary. Well, I heard this YouTuber say this. Okay, that's fine. Let's talk about this a little bit and walk through it. So we call it relational apologetics, where we befriend somebody. You know, we want to know where they're coming from, and so that way we can address your concerns in the way that's best fitted to you. Because, you know, if I come in to, honestly, men and women always will approach topics differently. You know, I noticed, and this isn't always, like, there are some women who are, like, way more, like, logically focused than I am. And there are some men who are, like, very emotionally driven. I actually just had lunch with a guy that he says, like, what made him Catholic was, like, a very emotional and spiritual experience. He's like, it wasn't the arguments that got him. So, you know, different approaches for different people, because, you know, if I hit, like, one of these, like, emotionally driven people with, like, hard-hitting facts and logic, and they're just gonna be like, wow, you're really mean. and it's just like, and then boom, now that person doesn't want to talk to you. And then you got some other people who are just like, oh, listen, I'm not looking to be coddled. I need you to hit me with hard logic. And then, okay, we can do that. And it's like, let's go get in the ring. Let's go, So, but yeah, crossthetiber.org. Great organization. I'm an apologist there. So if you want to come talk to me, come ask me questions, that's where you can find me as well. But yeah, so I guess that's the only other thing that I'd like to plug.
Nice. All right, so that was my interview with Kyle, and as you guys can see, it went great. I loved it. Loved talking to you, bro. It was awesome, and I'm glad we were able to share that moment together in person. I love you, bro. And right after that, we actually went out to go eat, and I did not film while we were eating because I don't know who would have been cool with it. Like, first off, I didn't even know y'all was rolling that deep when we were down there. However, I also just didn't want to have a camera in everybody's face. I felt that would have been rude. So we went out to eat. I had to leave a little bit early, you know what I'm saying? Because I had to finish getting some shots and meeting some people, which you're about to see in the next scene. So let's get into it. All right, y'all. Got some food, ate. Interview with Kyle is over. The debate is about to start in 30 minutes, I believe. Yeah, might as well say 30 minutes at this point. Give you guys some behind the scenes. People are already starting to sit down. Already met Matt, which is pretty dope. And we're gonna be up here filming everything. And as you can see, my setup, boy, my brother is right over there. So we're gonna see if Matt comes up here at some point. All of our stuff is right here. So can't wait. Honestly, I'm hyped. This is my first debate I've been to. Obviously, I'm not Catholic. So we're just gonna see how all this goes. Y'all already know I'm on the path, I'm on the journey, so we'll see what happens. Alright guys, so as you saw the clips from the debate, that was it. We weren't able to really stay behind and meet people and get any crazy clips. We weren't even able to go to the thing after the fact at the local cigar bar. Honestly, my brother's wife is pregnant, so we kind of had to go back home a little bit early. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to give you some super deep introspective view of the debate, because that's just not me. And also, I'm not there yet. Like, I can't give y'all that level of theology yet, you want something like that? Go over to Swan Sana's channel. I think it's called The Intellectual Catholic. Head that way. Link could be in the description down below. But he has a really good breakdown of everything. He even has an interview with Kyle, and you already know the link to Kyle's channel is going to be in the description box down below too. They have a great breakdown together of it. And honestly, this is my first time ever going to something like this. I'm within my first year journey of being a Christian, so I'm not going to give you a deep breakdown of what I saw. But what I will say, as someone who's had their first experience of going to the debate, I loved it. And I would highly recommend any other first-timers or, baby Christians or cradle Catholics, whatever you want to call it. I highly suggest you guys go to one. I ended up learning a lot. I understood a lot of the things they were talking about. And honestly, from the most sane level that you can get right now, it's no different than going to a rap battle, right? You have a person on this side giving their bars, you have another person on this side giving their bars, and they're just going back and forth, explaining their position. And that's really all it was. And that's why I enjoyed it a lot. I saw a lot of aspects from the battle rap world really just right over here in the apologetics one. And I loved it. So, and real quick, before I get out of here, something did happen when we were out in Steubenville. I'm not going to name names, and I'm not going to say who it was or anything, but there was one individual while we were in that city that made my brother feel very unwelcome. And that hurt me for a multitude of reasons. My brother is agnostic. So I was already nervous about asking him from the very beginning about coming with me, because this is kind of like a Christian vlog, an event I didn't really know how that was going to work. You know, I didn't know if he was going to feel comfortable to begin with. I didn't know if he really wanted to be there. But he was down, like he always is. Like, he's never let me down before, and like in typical fashion, he didn't let me down this time. And my hope wasn't for him to like leave out of this and be like, hey guys, I'm Christian now, but you just never know. Like, what if a seed would have been planted in him that day? What if it just gave him something to think about? We don't know, right? And the fact that this one individual just made him feel so unwelcome. He literally went from enjoying himself to being completely turned off. And on that car ride home, he looked right at me and said, this is why I left religion to begin with. He was like, people like this is why I hate it. And that bothered me a lot, that was the experience he left with, when I was really hoping he would have left with a more positive one. As Christians, we need to hold ourselves in better standards, all right? It's just crazy, because this isn't the first story of somebody being like, you're the reason I'm not religious, or this is the reason I'm not religious. I mean, it's one thing if they just don't like something in the Bible, right? We could work through that. Like, we can change their minds slowly, but in a positive manner. And but this was annoying, and it was like heartbreaking to deal with. And I wish it would have ended up in a more positive manner with him. And I would just say, moving forward, we just need to do better as a community all around, because at the end of the day, yeah, we're learning. This is going to be a journey we're going to be on for the rest of our lives. But our goal is to also evangelize and plant seeds. And you can't do that when you only care about the people that are already in your group, because that just doesn't make sense. Why am I evangelizing to people that already know the word? The goal is to evangelize to people that don't know the word. So, food for thought. Maybe keep that in the back of your minds. And I'm just going to go ahead and get out of here. Oh, and one final thing. It's your girl saying, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because you don't want to miss the next video.